Blessings, everybody. Welcome to Think About It Tuesday. I am your host, Dr. David D. King. Hope everybody's doing wonderful on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. Want to give a shout out to Fee Spot, where we are considered the number 9th of the best political podcast in the state of Wisconsin, over at Feed Spot. So we want to give them a hand for making us number 9. And I just want to give a shout out to my basketball team, Kingdom Prep Lutheran High School, where I am the coach. And on yesterday, we had an exciting time honoring the life of Coach Dale, who was taken away from us July 7th. We dedicated the season to him, presented his mom and his fiance with a jersey, and it was a beautiful time where JV won 78-8 over Burlington Catholic Central, and varsity won 95-30. So let's give them a hand for their victory. Yes, it was a beautiful time. And so we're going to get the show started, and it's Think About It Tuesday. And I want to talk about, we got an upcoming election here in February primary, and April is the general election for the spring election. And so it's a couple of things that I want to talk about tonight as we get prepared for the election. And if anybody want to see a better Milwaukee, then everybody has to get involved with that change in the city of Milwaukee. And I just went online and I looked, and having a spring election, we have 12 county supervisors right now that are not being challenged. I'm hoping that changes before January 2nd, that a person could go out and get signatures, and that they would get involved in helping changing not only the city, but the county as well. And in the city, we have 9 aldermen that does not have a challenger, 9 alderpersons that doesn't have a challenger And we need people to get up, stand up, and run for these offices. Now, when we look at elections, and I'm going to talk merely to inner city of Milwaukee, black and brown people. I really want to talk to you guys because in the last election, 2020 mayor race, not no special election, but the actual spring election in 2020, there was over 577,000 people in the city of Milwaukee, and only 91,000 voted in the spring election. And then that same year, over 200,000 voted in the fall election. And if we simply just have conversation with individuals, we find it by having these conversations, we're finding out that a lot of them either voting out of anger, hatred, or fear. They either vote because they don't like somebody, or they're voting because they was told a lie and they're afraid. Well, if you look at the city of Milwaukee and where we at in our city with crime, with the bad services, with the sale tax that is going to hit in January, 7.9, when we start to look at everything that's going on, you got to ask yourself a question. Is this the kind of city that you really wanted to live in? Are you proud of your city? Do you feel safe in your city? Is this the city you really want to raise your family in? Now, in Chicago, excuse me, in Chicago, I'm going to play, let me see if I can find the video, but I'm going to play a video of what the people in Chicago are saying right now. Let me see if I can find the one I'm looking for. But the people in Chicago, there was a exit. A lot of people left Chicago, and they're trying to gain that population back. And so, with the immigrants, they're doing it. And then let me turn this up because I want you guys to listen to what the people in Chicago are saying about the migrants. Let's see if I can play it for you.
Johnson say that the sentiment in the black community is waning. A lie. The sentiment is not waning. We are not okay with you taking our resources and giving them to people who don't live here. As Mark stated before, you are preparing housing for them. One of the reasons that the city of Chicago was able to close 50 schools was because of the black flight. And the reason we had a black flight was because there is no affordable housing in this city. It is because the city of Chicago shut down the voucher system so that blacks who needed to get affordable housing could not. So they had no choice but to flee to other states. But now you found money for the migrants. That's right. We're calling foul. And then another thing you said was that the faith-based leaders were helping to bring around the sentiment. We haven't paid attention to faith-based leaders since Dr. Martin Luther King. And guess what? We're not listening to them now. We understand that they are bought and paid for. We understand that you control the narrative that they are trying to speak about. So let me just say this to you. We're not listening to them the same way we're not listening to you. What you're doing is not okay. And let me just say this other thing. Emerson Park is still closed. And our mayor has decided that because we didn't support migrants coming to our park, we just ain't gonna have a park. I call foul, Mayor. You love to stand around and talk about how you're a black man. That's all you are, is a black man. And we know that all black folks ain't skin folks. And those of us who didn't know that, you're giving us a great lesson. So we thank you for that. No, the sentiment has not changed. We are still for black people. We are still for this city supporting us. We are still for black people getting the same set asides that these migrants are getting. Oh, excuse me, not migrants, because what they are is illegal foreign nationals. They are not migrants. They are not coming here legally. So just because you put lipstick on a pig, it's still going to be a pig. So we are not backing down. We were quiet for a minute. I know you thought that the sentiment has changed. It has not. And like I tried to remind people, not only did I support Brandon Johnson, not only did I campaign for Brandon Johnson, not only did I give him my money, but I want you to know two things. Number one, I'm not a fan. I have buyer's remorse. Number two, for any independent candidate in the city of Chicago, any Green Party candidate in the city of Chicago, and any Republican candidate in the city of Chicago, now is your time, because we are done with the Democratic Party. Brandon Johnson, Governor Christie, and President Biden have shown us what they think about the black community all over this country. And so we're standing here today to say, okay, if that's what it is, we with it. We don't have to support the Democratic Party. We don't have to continue to support people who are not going to support us. And the Democratic Party here in this city, in this state, and in this country is not supporting us. You got the Republicans on one side and the Democrats on the other side. Guess what? They're part of the same bird.
That's right, with two wings.
So it doesn't matter anymore which party we go with. But I'll tell you this, I'd rather deal with the snake that's outfitting himself of the Republican Party than the snake that's covered up in the Democratic Party.
That's right.
We're not going to continue to stand for this. We're not going to continue to allow our state representatives, our congressmen, our aldermen, and our mayor to let us know that we don't matter. Just like you're going to show us that we're going to matter, we're going to show you. It's going to be a great day in the city of Chicago when the Democratic convention comes here, and then they found out in March that a lot of black voters took Republican ballots.
So, Chicago is heated right now of everything that is going on. And the reason I believe that a lot of this is happening and not pushing to one side or the other, people want to be represented. People want to be respected. People want to have the opportunity to raise their families. People want an opportunity that their children can have a great education so their children can grow up and be whatever they want to be in this great country. I think that the biggest problem is people are waking up because they're not getting anything, especially the black community. The black community haven't gotten anything in so long that they upset and they're sick and tired. So let's look at Milwaukee, and this is why I want people to get up and run for these office. I mean, we got aldermen in here that's been an alderman for a long time, and the black community have not gotten better, but it's gotten worse. And so why will we continue to allow them to be in office when nothing have changed for the better? We look at things and we just shake our heads and we say, it's somebody else that's holding them down, it's somebody else that's stopping them, it's somebody, but it's not, it's themselves, because their agenda was never your agenda. And so instead of voting for somebody because the color of their skin, or voting for somebody because they're on one side of the fence or the other side, why not vote for the person that has integrity and has character? Why not vote for somebody who's not going to tell you what they're going to do, but they've already been doing it? Why not vote for somebody that really want the best for the people of the city? And so when we look at Milwaukee, let's look at home, because this show is called Vested in Milwaukee. When we look at our city and we look at the service that our city gives, the quality of service is not there. It's not there at all. It's you got the potholes, you got the garbage not picking up, you got street lights that's not working, you still got lead in the water. One side of town get ticketed more than the other side. Cars get towed on the north side more than they do on the south side. I mean, you look at the service, you look at everything, and you ask yourself, did you hire, because you are the boss, did you hire your auto person to represent you the way they represented you? We got a black alderman that's doing regentrification in their district, and ain't nobody saying anything about it. And so as we start to look at it, then we got to ask another question: do we understand the branches of government? Do we understand how it operates? Because the people in the city is blaming the people in the state. The people in the state is blaming the people on a federal level, and you ask yourself, why are they doing that? Simply because they know you don't know government. And so on this Think About It Tuesday, when we look at the condition of our city, when we look at sale taxes, mom and pop stores, small business owners are going to be in trouble because they'll sell taxes. So guess what? They're going to have to raise some prices. Things are going to go high. They're not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to survive. When you look at it from a business standpoint, raising those sale taxes was the most dumbest thing I ever seen in my life. Because as a businessman, the consumer is going to pay those sale taxes. So if I'm a consumer and I need something and I got to pay 7.9 in the city of Milwaukee, and I can go over to New Berlin and I'm not paying the 7.2 sales tax, I'm still paying the 5, then where do you think I'm going to go? I hear people trying to buy cars now so they don't have to pay that extra sale tax in January. So they're trying to buy cars now. I mean, if you stop, just slow down for a minute and just look at what they're doing. Look at how it's going to affect. Look how it's going to affect your family, your business, your community. I mean, all of these things we have to take in consideration because of the fact that they're not paying attention to it. Your children education and what's going on with the education system right now, and how they're got books in the school systems that teaches your children about oral sex and anal sex and masturbation. And they're confusing them starting at K4 with their sexuality. How they rebranding pedophiles from the word pedophile to the word minor attractive person. And we sit here, and a lot of people in the city of Milwaukee has no clue on what they're doing to our children, don't have no clue of anything. Mark Belling got a story that he put out. That there's an investigation, a federal investigation of 3 Milwaukee aldermen. There's going to be an indictment of 3 Milwaukee aldermen. 3 of them. And so I don't know who's the three. I'm very curious to find out. I'm trying my best to stay close to that story because I really want to know which three are they targeting, or which three they got evidence on, or which three that is about to go down. But they have three Ottomans under investigation right now, according to the story that Mark Belling um, talked about on his radio show. And so, Milwaukee, if there ever been a time for us to change the narrative of our city, if there ever been a time for us to flip our city and make it right, if there ever been a time for us to work together to reduce crime, if there ever been a time for us to save grandma or granddaddy house from being taken for taxes, is there ever been a time to make Milwaukee a city where you'll be proud of, and a city where you can raise a family? That time is right now. That time is right now. This spring election is more important than a presidential election that's coming up in 2024. And why is that? Because the spring election deals with your everyday life. It deals with what goes on at home. And if we don't get home taken care of, you ain't got to worry about taking care of anything else. We got to get home right. Look at what's going on in Chicago right now. Look what's happening in Chicago. And I did hear that our mayor made a statement that he was going to grow the population of the city of Milwaukee, that he's going to grow the population of the city of Milwaukee. And you got to ask yourself, how is he going to do that when everybody is leaving because of the crime, because of the poor conditioning? The housing authority is a mess. The school system is a mess. Taxes are so high. How is he going to grow it? The same way Chicago is growing theirs, with these migrants, illegal aliens. There was a man in Chicago who made a statement that he has been there for 35 years and was waiting to get his work permit to work in the city of Chicago. And these illegal immigrants, migrants, whatever you want to call them, comes and they give them work permits right now. They got their work permits. And they are now legally able to work in the city of Chicago. Now, and I know when it comes to us having illegal, as they call them, illegal aliens in the city of Milwaukee, people that came from Mexico, they call them illegal aliens. But those that's coming from all over the world, they're calling them migrants. And they're giving them, they taking care of them faster and better than anybody else. And so you got to ask yourself a question. They done skipped over as they call them, illegal aliens from Mexico. They done skipped over the black community to take care of these people. These people is going to be the new minority. They're not going to need black and brown votes anymore. They know that you have the scales have came off your eyes, and you see how bad they've been mistreating you or misleading you or lying to you or deceiving you. And now your eyes are opening up, and now you're wondering, wow, what did we get? You haven't gotten anything. Do you know in Milwaukee County have just became a sanctuary for transgender and non-binary people, as they say, so they can feel safe. Blacks been hollering for decades about feeling safe. Why didn't Milwaukee County become a sanctuary for Black folks? You know, when we start to look at things, we have to look at them for what they really is. They're not for you. And if you can't see that, if you can't see that the people that's in office right now is not for you, or you just don't want to admit you made a mistake. And listen to this. They made a statement about the churches and the faith-based leaders. And they said that they have already been brought. And they said that they can't even trust the faith-based leaders. Think about that. They cannot trust faith-based leaders. Make you think, don't it? They can't trust us. Because many of us supported the wrong people, got you to vote for the wrong people, and now you're fighting MAP, minor attractive person. Now you're dealing with transgender and non-binary. Now you're dealing with sexual identification inside the school system or social emotional learning. Now you're dealing with people that's in office that does not care about you. Now you're dealing with individuals that are making laws against you simply because some faith-based leaders told you to vote that route. Faith-based leaders told us that the Democrat Party is for the Black community. Milwaukee been a stronghold for the Democrat Party since 1902. What have the Black community got? Did it get better or did it get worse? And now you got these groups steady telling you to support and push a liberal agenda or an agenda that is not going to help you, but is going to hurt you. You got elected officials only show up when it's a photo shoot. Now, you guys said that you voted for them because they was Black. You voted for them because we needed to have our first Black mayor. Okay, we got it. When is our first Black mayor stood up and says on TV in front of the cameras, let's come together and let's stop the Black on Black crime? Never. When did our first Black mayor say, listen, we done aborted over 20 million Black babies. Let's find a way to help these single moms so they don't abort any more Black children? Never. When has this Black mayor got up there and says, you know, MPS is failing our children, where 14% of fourth graders can read and only 12% of fourth graders can do math, or 11% of eighth graders can read and only 8% or 7% of eighth graders can do math? We need to do something to change those numbers so our children can compete with any other child in the world, that the education system needs to be better quality for our children. Never. Because he's not for you. You're not part of his agenda. The hop is more important to him than you are. You remember District 9 told him, do not sign the bill that will put a detention center in our district until we got a representative. Did he wait and do that? No, he didn't. What did he do? He signed it anyway. He made a deal anyway, and he said it would bring all of our children, all of our youth home. But that detention center will not house all of the children that's outside of Milwaukee County right now. And where they are not going to give up that many millions, because those people will lose their jobs. So he lied again, and they're going to look for new kids to go into that facility, or he's going to transfer some from the Lincoln Hill and then send the new batch out to Lincoln Hill. People, when are we going to just slow down and just start asking simple questions? I was on the campaign trail, and somebody said to me, well, he only been mayor for 2 years. Give him a chance. I said, we did. He was the president of the common council, and he was an alderman of a district. How much more time do we got to give him? He has shown that nothing changed by him being alderman to mayor. Nothing in his district changed as an alderman, and nothing changed as mayor. How much chance do we have to give? If you was working a job and you wasn't producing, trust me, you would not be on that job long. We have to ask ourselves, what kind of city do we want? See, we can't wait until after April to want to fight, because you just gave them 4 years. We got to cut the snake off at the head, and that's now. 12 county supervisors. 12 county supervisors doesn't have an opponent. I challenge you guys, those of you that did not want Milwaukee County to be a sanctuary for transgender, non-binary people. Non-binary. Come on, y'all. Are you serious? You need to run against them. They made this a sanctuary. You need to run against them. We cannot just let them sit in office, get another free ride, and you got 9 aldermen. They're going to stay there because they already proposed to give them a raise. Why give them a raise and they haven't done anything? We have to really wake up and take a stand. Take a hard look at what's going on and what can we do to change it. Because if we don't do that, then what's going to happen to this city is going to be terrible. And let's just be honest. Everybody can afford to relocate. Everybody can afford to go somewhere else. They don't have the money. And you and I know that. So why not do something that's going to be brilliant for all of us? And what do I mean by that? If we come together as a community and we put every community at the table and not on the menu, we can have a great city. But we have to We have to come together. We have to put an end to all of this mess that we got going on in our city. Most of the people in the city know that they've been sold out. Most of the people in the city know that Cavalier Johnson was brought by Chris Abele. Most of the people in the city know that their alderman is not for them but is against them. Most of these people in the city know that grandmama them is losing their houses because of taxes and not mortgages. Most of the people know. But knowing is one thing, but getting up and doing something about it is another. We have 9 aldermen that doesn't have a challenger. We have 12 county supervisors that don't have a challenger yet. You still have time to get signatures. You still have time. You got all the way to January the 2nd. Stop allowing them a free ride. Stop allowing them to stay in the office just because. You need to get up and you need to run. On this Think About It Tuesday, that's something that we really have to ask ourselves. Do we really want another 4 years? Another 4 years? Or do we want to sound like this? Listen to this. Wait. Wait. I'm trying to turn it up so you can hear it. Or do we?
Today, these are our children, and they will not be targeted while you take and make a better life for a new group that just walked into this country yesterday.
These are grandchildren.
$9,000 a month for these people. You know how hard it is? $1,000 to $1,500 for every child, every illegal immigrant child that goes into Chicago public schools. You give them money for uniforms and computers and all these things. We're not going to stand down, and we ask that the Republican Party come and sit down and have a meet with us. Come have a meet with us. We all are against fast immigration. Let's have a meeting. Let's have a meet with the Republican Party. If Trump want to come to town, come and meet with us.
Trump 2024.
Come have a meet with us, Trump.
Trump 2024.
We are not going to stand idly by while you starve our community. Let me say this again. Our community, us as a people, period. Mothers and fathers of today, these are our children, and they will not be targeted while you take and make a better life for a new group that just walked into this country yesterday.
These are grandchildren.
$9,000 a month for these people. You know how hard it is? $1,000 to $1,500 for every child, every illegal immigrant child that goes into Chicago public schools. You give them money for uniforms and computers and all these things. We're not going to stand down, and we ask that the Republican Party come and sit down and have a meet with us. Come have a meet with us. We all are against fast immigration.
They are furious. They are upset. They are angry because now they're overlooked. They did their job. And we've been doing that job for years and years. We have preachers, ministers, pastors, who's the face of the liberal agenda, the liberal movement here in the city of Milwaukee. They use words like diversity, inclusion, equality, but it's not the way you see it. And so we got to wake up. We just got to I know we don't like doing homework. I know we don't like to research. I know we don't like to do, but now is the time you got to do that. You got to research and you got to look at every group, every organization, see who's funding them. See, because everything is public. Find out who's funding them, who's supporting them. Find out why they pushing a certain agenda, why they trying to grab you to get to the polls and all of this, and what is the real agenda behind some of these things. And you look at Souls to the Polls, and they talking about oppressing black people, and they're talking about doing this, but ask yourself, what have you gotten? What have you received in the city of Milwaukee by supporting these kind of candidates? You haven't gotten anything. Your life in the city of Milwaukee didn't get better. It got worse. And those that's pushing their life getting better because of the money they're getting to be the face. See, they don't need you. They just need your face. They don't need you. They need your face. They need a black face, because you will not take it from a white person, the things that they want to do to you. You're not going to just take that. So they need a black face. And we need to be highly upset and assault and feel stabbed in the back that they use us all the time to push their agenda. Ladies, when it was International Women's Day, they gave y'all award to a man. You can call them transgenders. I'm calling it what it is. They gave the International Women's Award to a man. And y'all was not upset about that? All the times y'all been fighting about equal rights, equal pay, recognize us as women, and then they turn around and give the award to a man, and y'all was okay with that? Nobody said nothing about that. Now you got men in college swimming against women who've been training all their life to be the best women swimmer in the country, in the world, and now you're competing with a man, and you okay with that? Now you go into wrestling, you do your thing, and all of a sudden a man come in and try to dominate it, and you guys are okay with that? We ain't not saying nothing. And now the federal government is giving money to schools for social emotional learning, and you got to let a boy take showers with the girls or use the girls' bathroom, and y'all okay with that? This is the equality that you guys wanted? This is the diversity that you guys wanted? If that's the case, then why not have 3 categories in sports? In high school, in college, and in the professionals. Why don't you have 3 categories? Male, female, and then whatever. It's not fair. It's not equal that a man swimmer swims against a woman swimmer, or a man boxer boxing against a woman boxer. That's not equal. How's that equal? But we're not saying anything. We're allowing them to do all of this stuff to us, but yet we don't say nothing. Nothing. Now you got to go in. That's a shame that a man or a woman has to go in the bathroom, search the bathroom, make sure nobody in there, allow their child to go in the bathroom and stand at the door and guard the door so nobody can go in while your child in there, and then allow your child to come out safely, because you don't know what's in there waiting on your child. You don't know if it's a pedophile. You don't know what's behind that door. We have an opportunity to make Milwaukee a better place for all of us. Everybody needs to be at that table. Everybody needs to be at the table. Nobody needs to be on the menu. We need to be at the table. We need to come together and look at the best solutions to fix certain issues in our city and implement those programs or those ideas so that we can have a better place to live, a place we can brag on. It's a shame that when sports come, they only show you downtown because they don't want to show you the real Milwaukee. You ever notice that? Or the real Baltimore. You see Baltimore Raven, you might see the downtown, but you're not looking at the real um, places in Baltimore or Detroit or Milwaukee or Chicago when they're dealing with sports. And stop letting these people that's run for office get you to vote for an image. That's why you mad too, because they create a nice image for you and you like the image, but you don't know the real person. We got to stop those images because those images is a mirage. That's not what you're really getting. And we got to come together as a whole. And we have to make sure that everything that we do it for the betterment of everybody. One mind, one goal, one purpose, and that's to make Milwaukee a safe and prosperous home for us all. It takes all of us, not some of us. So I just wanted to come on, talk real quick, and just share some things with you guys. But again, we got 12 county supervisors, nobody challenging. We got 9 aldermen, nobody's challenging. We got to do something better. We have let me check real quick. There's only one person so far running for city attorney. The incumbent, I don't see his paperwork yet, so I don't think so. We have one person running for treasurer, and that's Spencer Cobbs. And we need somebody to run for treasurer against Spencer Cobbs. He should not just sit in office and get a raise. He's about to get a $30,000 raise if they do what they say they're going to do. $30,000. We need somebody to run for treasurer. We need somebody to run for district attorney. Let me check to see if anybody running for district attorney. Let's see. We need somebody to run for county executive. Only one nobody as of yet has their paperwork in for county executive. So we need somebody to run for county executive. We need somebody to run for comptroller for the county. Nobody is running for comptroller. And all of these people are using, wait a minute, that's the same as, yep. So the address that Cavalier Johnson is using as his address is the same address Liz Summers, who's running for comptroller, are using. So that must be the Democrats' headquarters office, 5027 West North Avenue. We have to come together, people, and we need to put some people in office that's going to run for the betterment of our city, our county. We got to make Milwaukee better. Ain't nobody gonna do it. Ain't nobody gonna come in and save us. Democrat Party or Republican Party is going to save Milwaukee. The people of Milwaukee are the only ones that's going to be able to save Milwaukee. Let's get it going, people. We have no choice. And the thing that I got to ask you is, can we afford to give Mayor Johnson 4 more years? Can you afford it? That's something you need to think about on this Think About It Tuesday. I'm Dr. David D. King. And talk to you later. God bless.